Barbara wrote these songs in the 70s when we lived in Pembroke, Maine. I find them utterly charming. I hope you enjoy them as well.
I came to Washington County in 1969. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. I had had a 40-year, relatively successful career, but there was very much about it that I did not like. So I made a pact with Washington County, and I said, okay, guys, folk, if you let me grow free, I'll let you watch the whole thing and answer any questions you want to know. These songs are a result of that early on. And Alan and I played them around the state. I sang them, and Alan played all sorts of accompaniment. Now, we're singing them here tonight, not because of their historic value, they're sort of fun, or because of the fact that we learned oh so much, and none of that, nor fame and fortune. We're singing them tonight because something miraculous happened. It's a little story. Last year, Noah David Smith filmed One Woman Show, part of One Woman Show with Alan, the rewrite. We had done it here in 2019, Alan and I was all in, and Alan sat over there. And I wanted to see if I could rewrite the script so that we were more even. And so there was a rewrite, and in the process of Noah shooting One Woman Show, he shot a 10-minute video, which he took off and entered in the Camden Music Festival, and it was accepted. And if you want to drive to Camden on Sunday afternoon, you can see it. It's called The Artists, and it is about us. But that isn't why we're singing. What happened, though, in all of that process of doing that was that Alan and I found out that we really loved singing together. And that's how come we're singing the songs. Yes. The big picture.
When you get freedom, what will you do? Once you got freedom, who will you be?
Once I get freedom, who will I be?
What face will you wear?
What face will I wear?
How will you dress?
I get freedom, who will I be? What will I do?
What streets will you walk? Once you got freedom, how
will I be?
Will you act? Will you search for another master?
Will I search for another
master? Will you be master and own lots of slaves?
Will I be master and own lots of slaves?
Will you flounder and die in the traffic?
When I get freedom,
what
will I do?
Will you be? Will you dare to search out a new way?
Will I dare to search out a new way?
One that makes equals of us all.
When I get freedom, what will I do?
Who will you be?
You've given us
a beautiful world, Lord.
given us a beautiful world.
You've given us clams to eat, given us mussels and fish.
You've given us deer and foxes, Lord.
You've given us a beautiful
Now some folk from away, Lord, want to come in here and con it out of us. They want to build refineries and pump in gas and make mines. They want to. I saw it happen in New Jersey, Lord. I saw it happen. I never want to have to say, Lord, it used to be a beautiful world.
I try in every way, with every breath that I take, to be true to what we people are about.
Be true to what we people are about. Family.
We are each one of us family with all living things, riding on this planet Earth through an immense universe.
One verse.
One. With the bacteria, the ants, the viruses,
with the mosquitoes, and
the cockroaches, the alligators, the skunks, the whooping cranes,
riding this planet Earth
through an immense universe.
One verse. And I never want to have to say, Lord,
it used to be a beautiful
place.
World. Nirvana.
Hey, I'm looking for Nirvana. You got Nirvana?
The Dennis from Eastport is looking for Nirvana.
The tourist from Route 1 is looking for Nirvana. Hey, mister, do you know the way to Nirvana?
Nirvana.
Maine
is a beautiful place.
Rivers running by.
Trees standing tall.
Alyssa sitting on the deck watching the eels going by.
Kingfisher sits on the
So,
wire.
eating peas in the garden.
Maine is a beautiful
People
place.
all smile to your face. Air is so cool, tide coming in over the beach.
Seaweed and
Fog fills the space.
fossils. Rocks full of quartz.
Cranberry bogs and blueberry too, swamps with blackbirds.
And was at the dam and
all
of the colors of green.
Maine is a beautiful place.
Fishermen in their boats.
Climbers out there digging.
Eagles flying by. Osprey overhead.
Funny old birds rolling down. Lobsters crawling right up on the shore. Seagrass and fossils.
Rocks full of quartz. Maine is a beautiful
place. Bill Folis selling his stuff real cheap. Virginia's cottages at the lake. Maine
Wildflowers
is a
blooming.
beautiful place.
Wildflowers blooming.
Sitting
By the river on a Sunday morning still,
listening to the bells toll.
high upon the hill, watching all the pretty folk going off to church.
There goes Pam, the organist,
listening to the hymns
walking in her new skirt.
and her flat soft-soled heel.
Sun is shining everywhere.
Wildflowers in
I
bloom.
am sitting quietly,
So
so
peaceful
peaceful
and so still. Watching all the pretty things and the wings of birds
all the heavy questions
are somehow lightened here.
Sitting by the river on a Sunday morning still,
listening to the bells toll.
bells,
High
bells,
upon the hill.
bells, bells.
All the heavy
heavy
questions are somehow lightened
here. And then there's the other end of it.
Skulls.
Skulls.
Skulls on a shelf.
Skulls on a shelf.
Look at us, we're
20
million years old.
Fingers and toes, all in a box.
Look at me, I'm a skull on a shelf.
Hey, Ma, I'm a collector's item.
And we were angry.
We were very, very angry. Our government had gotten us into a they'd finishing up France's silly war, and it became a very nasty war on both sides. And all of our sons and daughters and husbands and whatever had to go off and fight and be mutilated and killed. A nasty war on both sides. And then the government did a very interesting thing. They changed from a conscripted army to a volunteer army. And that meant only the poor people who didn't have, and all of our sons and daughters and mothers and brothers and came back, and poof, there went the peace movement right away. And we were very, very angry.
We shake our fists.
We shake our fists
Against the sky. We dare to live. We dare to die. We ride the subway to the end.
We turn it out.
We turn it
on.
in.
We turn it off. And on again. The owl gods howl.
Shout out foul.
We get the real.
We spin it round and then we sink into the ground. Once there was a boy.
He was just 19, going off to war.
A killing machine who did this to him.
A killing machine
and what will
who
happen
did this
to him?
Once there was a girl, she was just 13, quitting school, pregnant too.
Who did this to her, and what will happen to her and hers?
Once there was a woman, she was 35, had 4 kids, crying another on the way.
How did she get here? Who did this
what
to
will happen
her?
to her and hers? There was a kid just in the 7th grade. He brought a gun to school. He was going to kill the teacher. Off to reformatory. Who made him do it?
How did he get here? What will happen to him? Man I know working at the mill. He's 22, breathing paint fumes all day long.
Plant closing, plant closing, plant closing.
Man, age 62, worked hard all his life, top man on his job. Now he is through. Woman 50, worked hard all her life, plant closed down, no insurance.
Plant closing. Who did this to them?
Who did this to them, and what can they do, and who's to blame, and who's at fault?
Who is to blame? And what will happen to them? And what will happen to us?
Who takes our souls and twists them into eating machines?
Who turns our poems into money and our songs into slogans?
Our paintings into war talk, our movies into so much.
Our gods into flaming killers of anything that is different.
Our forests into lumber, killing everything that isn't just like us.
We buy the guns. We sell sex with breakfast cereal. We make war
in the name of jobs.
We place the poor out on the street.
We kick the air full of dust and dirt and take the land to
fill
crop
the
money.
oceans with poison from our rain rivers and toilets.
What will happen to us?
What will happen to us? And who's to blame?
And
who is to
we
blame?
Don't want any part of
Who's
it.
to blame? And I don't want any part of it.
Hey, you, could you turn that light off on your phone? It's a concert for some people. Thank you.
Yes. And
One fine day.
Always we were afraid.
One fine day.
Always we were afraid. One fine day, your kid'll come home from school
And say, Ma.
I did something bad.
When the teacher asks if you and Dad did A and B and C and D and all the way
said
to Z.
yes.
I said yes.
Well, what do you do but you hug your kid?
And you hope for the very best.
For the very best.
Cause
They're gonna get ya. They're gonna get you if you don't watch out.
They're gonna get you for the color of your
skin,
for
whatever
going
it
to church
is,
or not, for
going
having money
to church,
or not,
for having money.
And you add to the list.
Add to the list, 'cause they're gonna get you for whatever it is they want to get you for.
And one fine night, they'll come knocking at your door.
And they'll drag you out of bed.
And they'll kick you in the head.
And sing in the
land of the free, but the home of the free.
We're gonna get you 'cause you didn't watch
out.
And sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing.
Except hope. Hope. Hope shining through. Hope.
Hope. Hope.
Darkness at noon
Goes away soon.
I hope.
The eagle sits in its tree.
Looking at you, looking at me, looking at me, looking at you.
The eagle sits in its tree.
We all play at tug of war.
It is a game we both adore.
You have your friends, I have mine.
We all play at tug of war.
It is too soon to give it up.
We all like it much too much.
We are all tied to a war machine. We are all tied to a war machine.
That doesn't know that we exist.
A war machine that doesn't know we exist. You have...
Darkness at noon goes away soon. You play monster, I play slave. It is a game we both adore. I play monster, you play slave. It is a game we both adore.
You have your friends, I'll have mine.
We all play at master and slave. It is too soon.
It is too soon
to give it up. We all like it much. Too much.
Too much. Minus hope. She didn't believe in
Anything.
In
Anything.
anything. In
Anything.
In
Anything.
In
Anything.
In
Anything.
In
Anything.
at
all. And then when things get
So
just
bad.
out of hand,
So
there's
bad. You just
always
can't
the
do
advice
anything.
column.
Dear Ann Landers, dear Ann Landers,
Dear
what I
Ann
wanna know.
Landers, what I want to know is what is it all about? There was a little girl who had a little girl.
Right down the middle of her middle. And when she was good, she was very, very good.
But when she was bad, she was delightful.
There was the little
Dear
boy
Ann
sitting in the
Landers,
corner, eating his mincemeat pie.
Oh,
He stuck in his thing and forgot to pull it out. And that's how come I got to be I. Dear Ann Landers.
Landers, what I want to know is 3 blind mice
Chase
check
me
me
up
up
a clock,
top,
asked me to
tell them the time.
I said to them,
look to the right.
and maybe you'll find time. There
was an old woman who lived in a shoe.
She had
So many children, she didn't know what to do.
So she took one look at us,
And she kicked us right out.
and that's how come I'm singing this
This
song
to you, dear Ann
dear Ann
Landers.
what is it
we
all
want
about?
to know is
What
is it all
about? Well, the big picture is all about one,
2, 1,
just begun.
2,
Two, tried and true.
3, and what'll it
4,
be?
4 and 99 more.
Now, can't you see how it is done? 1 for all. All for one.
Yes, and they're kicked out of the big picture. We're 2 firstborns, stubborn, know-it-all, self-centered, narcissistic, probably. Oh my, they wasn't it. And they faced the world. They were galloping.
Horses!
Galloping horses.
Running free down the beach.
Galloping horses. Blue sky, yellow sea, blue sky.
White waves
Galloping.
breaking foam.
Horses.
I met you on Monday.
On Tuesday, we did the dance.
On the Wednesday, the sun was shining.
On Thursday, the clouds wept tears.
On Friday, we said the blessing.
On Saturday, why, here we are.
Galloping horses
Galloping
free
horses
down
running
the
free
beach.
down the beach. I will laugh whatever I laugh.
I will think whatever I think.
I will speak whatever I speak until I die.
I will love whatever I love.
I will laugh whatever I think. I
will
will walk the
speak
beautiful
whatever I
trail.
love.
I will sing the beautiful song.
I will lift my voice in laughter to the gods. I will love you more each day. I will hold your child in mine.
I will look with seeing eyes into your soul.
I will live my life with you every moment till it's through.
Like the fullness of the moon in the still of starlit night.
Like the whisper of the wind in the silence of the pine.
Like the laughter of the gypsy on the road.
I will wear my golden chains.
I will wear your jewels in ropes about my neck.
When my fingers gleam the glitter
Of
your golden laughter bright.
I will live our aging through.
I will watch our children grown.
I will face the parting of the joining of the hands.
I will raise my voice in laughter to the gods.
Hand in hand I'll go with you.
Down the rooted path.
And rest beside
our moss and covered river bank.
You know, I used to think that.
Yes?
I used to think that somewhere. Yes, right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And if I just could get there.
Why, then
I would be there. Oh, I used to think that somewhere there was a perfect me.
And if I could just get there, just
around the corner.
Right there.
If I just could get there,
then
turn
I
it into
should
song
be she.
And lead the people singing
merrily along. But the pussy willows come.
And the pussy willows go.
I used to think that somewhere
there
was a perfect me.
Just around the corner. And if I just... But the pussy willows come.
And the pussy willows go.
And the wild oak tree lies down in someone's roll-top desk. I like to be here with you.
Riding along.
I like to be here with you.
Driving down white country road.
Snow coming down.
White all around.
Snow.
No track before us, our track behind. No driving alone.
Before us, our track behind.
The bushes are brown, the trees at the rim of the world are covered in white.
3 cedar tall guard somebody's lawn.
I like to be here with you.
Snow coming miles all around.
No track before us.
Snow coming down.
White all around. I like to be here with you, driving along down white country roads.
You know what? Look, Alan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. It's just too late to say. Too late to say you're sorry. I'm sorry.
Too late to say
you're sorry.
I know you care. I know you
cry. I know you're sincere. I know you're... Say when you say you're sorry now.
When you'll say you'll never do it again.
I've lived with you a while.
Listen to your cares, forgiving your meanness
and
to me.
Each time that I do, go out and do it all over again. I'm sorry.
So
it's
now
just
it's
too late to say.
I can't forgive you anymore.
I have my own life to live. It's too
Too
late.
late to say.
I'm sorry. It's just too late to say you're sorry.
Too late to say you're sorry.
But then
Spring
spring
seems to be here again.
Spring seems to be here again.
Winter has gone once again.
Never thought I'd see it.
Never thought I'd make it to the end.
Back in the darkening when the sun was gone.
Cold was a creeping in, and the
And
birds were
You
sour.
and me was arguing,
And
the kids
had lice.
lice.
Never thought I'd
Never
see
thought I'd
it.
make it. Never thought I'd see it to the end.
But spring seems to be here again. Winter has gone once again.
Winter wood, it lasted.
Sun, it is light.
Snow, it has crept away.
And you and me don't fight. And winter has gone once again.
Never thought I'd see it.
Never thought I'd make it to the end. You are
And then
so
there is
beautiful.
that. You are so beautiful. You really are so beautiful.
I am so
I
lovely.
am so lovely.
We are so dazzling. I just keep wondering why this old world doesn't pay us a little more mind. Ah.
And there those two faced the wild and wilderness of Washington County with all of its intricacies, unknowns, dangers, and delights.
And we didn't know anything about any of it, but we know how to party. Jasper Beach.
The clouds cavort in the sky high.
The waves play hopscotch on the beach.
Scorpio rides the horizon and tarries a bright red eye in the sky.
It is the spring of the year.
Up on the hill is a party. You can get anything there.
Liquor and dope flowing freely. Clams and lobsters cooking on the fire.
Meiji is taking her clothes off.
Look at
everyone
stares. Someone is falling in love with someone who loves them back. And over behind a rock, someone weeps for love lost. The volleyball game breaks a finger, a child goes screaming by.
And the poets sit in a circle, speaking of fillet of soul.
People have always partied in the spring of
2 million
the
years
year.
of us. People have always partied in
since
the spring of the
people came here.
Ever since people came here.
Maine potatoes in a bag.
Maine potatoes in a bag.
So we eats them every day. Maine potatoes in a bag. Daddy fries them in a pan. From the farmer down the road.
Dusty, dirty, but delicious Maine potatoes in a bag. And all the happenings. The happenings. It was early in the morning.
The stars were still out bright.
Listening to the wind
blowing in the pine. I just sit and wonder what everything's about.
Listen to the wind blow. Last night someone broke and entered old Mr. Hatch's store.
Stole a bunch of shotgun shells. I just wonder what for.
Someone found the boxes from those empty shells
in the cabin of some summer foe
who come to spend July here, listening to the wind blowing in the pines.
No one does much talking, but the church windows were shot out.
I think I know the fella who did the dirty deed.
Can't say that I blame him much, the life he's had to live.
I just sit and wonder
what
everything's about. Listening to the wind blowing in. Oh, I can still remember
the tales my grandma told
about growing up too quickly in an Indiana town.
Most of what she told me I can't remember anymore.
But one thing she said to me, I remember very well. She said,
"Get a piece of land, girl,
where the wind blows through the pines."
Now it's early in the morning, the stars are still out bright.
I just
listening to the wind blow.
Listening to the wind blow.
Blowing
in the pines.
Through the pines. Oh, I'm in love with Lyle's golden oil. It's made in Bangor, Maine. It smells so fine.
Of cedar and pine. It's made in Bangor, Maine.
In the spring when the sun starts to raise in the sky, I rub it all over this skin of mine.
In summer and fall when my muscles ache from hiking and rowing and shoveling and picking, and I rub hot Lyle's into muscles and cracks and bake in the sun all naked and nice. When winter comes and the sun goes away and the wild winds blast house and me through the day, I dive down under the blankets so warm, shed layer and layer and layer and layer and layer and layer and layer, and rub Lyle's on legs, arms, and feet. Oh, I'm in love with Lyle's golden oil. It's made in Bangor, Maine. Yes, and you change, always change. Before the Historic Society, there was Johnson's Annex. And before Johnson's Annex, there was Emmy Lincoln's Store. And before Emmy Lincoln's Store, there was
Frank Lincoln's Store.
And before that, there wasn't any.
We don't remember. We don't remember. Someone might remember. Old Willard told me, but Willard's gone.
While the sun shines
in the sky every day,
and the moon goes
its own special way, and water runs uphill to our bay,
I sit singing these old songs of mine. M.E. Lincoln sits in the store.
Margaret sits there too. All day long. The school kids come and hang about, chewing their bubble gum. Yum, yum, yum. There comes Mr. Pippin now, buying some tonic for his gin. Sin, sin, sin. The town is quiet.
Goes quiet.
No one about.
No one about.
There comes Mr. Carter. Now it must be 5 o'clock.
M.E. Lincoln closes the store.
And the sun goes down on my little town.
And the sky turns black and the stars all glitter, and that's when the young folk gather. Honks, honking, tires skidding, screaming, piercing, cars speeding, cutting cookies and leaving black marks on the street.
And all goes quiet, still stars in the night, and the moon still goes its own special way. And water still runs downhill from our bay. And tomorrow the sun will shine through the day. And I still sing these old songs of mine. And then there were the organizations. And Barbara wrote some songs.
About 40 of us came up here. We'd known each other in New York City, and we wanted to do all sorts of things. We had a factory. We did all sorts of things with all sorts of stories, and everybody did a lot of work. And we thought we would bring artists here so it was safe.
And we
safe
did.
Place to work. And we did for a while.
But we had nothing to do with it. But we did. Here they are.
I just realized.
Hi.
I just realized the other day that the Tides Institute has furthered that with its Artists in Residence series.
Oh, did you?
But I wrote a song. Everybody else tore down factory, did all sorts of things. Sunspot, USA.
And we're here to stay. And if you don't believe me, why?
Well, just go away. Go away from Sunspot, USA.
And then
our school. You know, when we came here, we were all very worried about how our children were being educated. We formed probably the first alternative school in Washington County. Helen Brooks, his family was seated here for generations, and Sue Tureen put together, and I followed them because they knew what they were doing.
And
they
Bob
put together
did a lot
school.
Of work.
And Bob Chakowski and the Sudas. Loverly. And, while everybody else was doing all the work,
she wrote a song.
I wrote a song. Loverly,
we love our school. Building block castles high as the sky. Knocking them down fast as the eye. Loverly, we love our school.
Remember the dams
and the Our School Wars. There are still beams where the bathrooms are. Boys versus the girls, building a snow chair with faces all round it. Susan reading and outside the ocean, slipping up the shore.
Loverly, we love our school. Building
block castles high as the sky.
Knocking them down fast as the eye.
Loverly,
we love our school.
And then I got my chance, because Zoe wanted to join the Girl Scouts, and the scout troop needed a leader. So I got to be the leader, and she wrote the song.
I know the woods.
And I know the towns.
And I know
the ways of fire and bees.
I know the stars.
And I know the states.
And I know the way of water and books.
I'm a Girl Scout.
I'm a Girl Scout.
And you can't do better than that.
I know the earth and I know the dreams.
And I know the ways of girls and boys. Sometimes I'm right and sometimes I'm wrong. But I'm always out to sing this song. I'm a Girl Scout. I'm a Girl Scout. And you can't do better than that.
And there was a whole part of Washington County that we needed to explore, and Maine, that had nothing to do with the people, the parties, the co-ops, nothing to do with any of that. It had to do with the real world of rocks and hills and mountains and water and green things, so many of them that I could only have now just begun to know their names. And so one day, we put our kayak, our Klepper folding kayak, in the water outside our basement, down under our basement, and the tide came in, and we went camping and through Reversing Falls. And I wrote the A-sharp Sonnet Sonata. First movement, slow.
The land in the day's new sunlight.
Soft with dew dripping. I look out.
Full tide, whiting bay.
Full moon setting.
The black head of a seal.
Behind me, tent.
Ellen is cooking potatoes. Sun rising.
I sing morning songs.
I look at my blue kayak stretched back in time to its factory birthplace.
People come every day to that factory to build. I couldn't make such a thing.
Up to Mars, a bigger ship is looking around.
For a place to land down.
Oh, I couldn't make such a thing.
I couldn't make such a thing.
Waves build up foam.
I plan to excite the day by going through Reversing Falls, by Mahar Point, falling head over and through whirlpools,
and singing out a storm. In the middle of the bay, blue sky, blue water,
and a green
lunar moth, water caught, big as my open hand.
The wind from the north
blows the tops off of white clouds.
What more can be said about a day in this time and space?
Echoing the past,
predicting the future. Second movement, fast. From 2 hour rock, standing in water, rushing out of the bay, I can see down Whirlpool Channel.
Seal watches me with golden eyes. I have invaded her world.
Standing in the middle
of the roaring water with my blue kayak.
With the shore straightened out strange.
From here, when we climb into the kayak, backs to the black clouds driving down the north.
Thunder.
Lightning.
Thunder.
Yelling at each other.
Yelling to each other. Center channel, riding out to sea on the whirlpools. Lightning. Thunder. Whirlpools catches. I catch a swinging view. Something caught in a curve.
Lightning. Thunder.
Center channel, whipped about by the hard water and the granite moth, the lightning and the granite.
Thunder, hard road to Layton's Point, thunder edging in between jutting rocks.
Lightning, thunder, rain, hard rain.
Our green army ponchos cover us and boat. Lightning,
covering us, trying to pretend to be the seaweed-covered rocks.
The rain stops.
A sun shoots up from broken cloud.
A rainbow over Quaddy Village.
Everywhere I am with members of my family, all the way back to the great being born from the first complex carbon molecule. There's more to it than that, though. Third movement.
Everything is quieting down except the blood-red sky.
Tinging our wet faces with fire.
Sun setting in the northwest, in the east, Cygnus the swan
flies up with a heron.
Swimming upriver to splash, the airwise jump free of the water.
They can't see upriver to closed dams, fishermen waiting nets.
We paddle with the tide towards home.
We paddle toward home.
On Wilson's ledges.
Heavy
breathing of a splash.
Seal.
Hercules is overhead.
I lay back, watching the darkening sky.
One with all the toothpicks from before the beginning of time.
I look up, naming the stars into existence.
Moon songs echo through the Arctic sea mist.
Past Coggett's Head and Hershey's Cove.
Past the dump with its crumpled history.
Past the houses.
Blue light seeping from windows.
Where people pray to the TV God.
Past the stone bridge and home. Home, says me, and the 3-inch eels.
She has swum all the way 2,000 miles from the Sargasso Sea.
Jeffy the cat comes down to greet us up with purrs.
More of us people know more about how this place works. Has swum all the way 2,000 miles from...
Here we get into the slightly political, but
They wanted me to go out and knock at doors and talk to legislators.
Never did work.
You know what?
Remember the Equal Rights Amendment? It's now the
Equal
Wrong Amendment.
I wrote this song.
Yes, sirree.
We've got the right
to do what we want with our bodies. We've got the right to do what we want with our minds. We will worship who we please. We will live the life we choose.
We will be the big boss in our lives.
You can't legislate the ground. You can't legislate the air. You can't legislate the birds flying free.
You can't legislate the water. You can't legislate the sun. And you can't even legislate me. We've got the right to do what we want with our bodies. We've got the right to do what we want with our minds. We will worship who we please. We will live the life we choose. You can't legislate the ground. You can't legislate the air. You can't legislate the birds flying free. You can't legislate the water. You can't legislate the sun, and you never, ever, ever will legislate me.
Take note, people.
And our parents, oh my goodness, they knew that we were doing, they thought their grandchildren were being raised in the most, and so, well, this is what came from it. Whiffed away, whiffed away, whiffed away.
In an instant you could be whiffed away.
You could be whiffed away. Put down your dope smoking cigarettes. Give up your LSD tabs.
Give up your shorty lifestyle. Salvation is yours at last. Put on some clothes that are decent. Cut your long scraggly hair.
Cover your pimples and blemishes. And show all the folk that you care.
Go out and get a job, kid. See what it feels like to work. Pay your bills every payday. And live the American way.
Cross the streets at the corners. Signs
We're
are made to obey. Fasten up your seatbelts.
You'll live longer that way.
Cut out those sexual orgies. Wash
your kids' faces clean.
Write a letter to your parents and tell them you're sorry for being so mean.
Whiffed away.
learn to respect, oh glory, the president and senators too. They know what's best for the nation, and they know what's best for you. Go to church every Sunday.
Synagogues on Saturday too.
We don't know how this ends,
folks, but it
sure
could be the end
of
you and us too. And now we come to the entrepreneurs,
Yay,
the people who are
always.
going to come and build the new world.
Dirty
Well,
movie show.
Pembroke
Pembroke
put itself
got one.
on the map.
It was gonna.
Yes,
and
sirree.
the cars came into town like more than the 4th of July, more than any school relay race. It was packed. Dirty movies. They came to see the dirty movie
movies.
show.
We like
Dirty
to see
movies.
the dirty
Dirty
movie
movies.
show.
I like to see the girls undressed and
I like to see the fellas
At the
missing
dirty
at the
movie.
dirty movie show. The cars,
cars
come streaming into town,
looking for naked, looking for forbidden.
strutting with wives, girlfriends on arm,
Looking
looking for
for
lessons
lessons
to
to
practice
practice
at
at
home.
home.
Dirty movies, dirty
Dirty
movies. I like to see the dirty movie show.
And outside,
The local guys gather,
to
watching
watch
the parade of local folk going to the dirty movie
And
show.
the local guys gather, filling up the bandstand, coming in from clamming,
Drinking, having fun, yelling, cursing,
outside the dirty movie show. Dirty movies, dirty movies.
Inside the gawkers fill up with naked storyline bodies doing storyline stuff.
Outside the fellas, bellow and laugh, drinking beer and getting into fights.
Shouting out,
Big
fight, fight.
Howray, 300 pounds, 6'3".
Going to
walking
meet
down
the little
street.
guy. Fight, fight, fight.
Outside the dirty movie
Movie
show, inside the
show.
gawkers fill up with naked.
Storyline bodies.
And outside, the fellas bellow and laugh at the dirty movie
show. And then the other crowd took over, and
Whatever
happened on Pembroke Hill?
happened on Pembroke Hill?
It is a story that's hard to tell.
There are as many versions as seconds since then.
Blue lights flashing, sirens going. The night 27
cop
cops
cars all
rushed
rushed
in.
in. It all began on the 3rd of July.
When everybody wanted to fly up to the high school where there was a dance.
For the firemen's auxiliary. It all began on the 3rd of July.
There was a dance at the school on the hill.
Everybody acted just as they should.
Dancing to music that was so good.
Plenty of partying and lots to drink.
Then Kenny and Melanie began to fight.
Nothing unusual about that, I'm told, but
And Tinker the cop went to break it up,
and that's when the fight
fight
began. Someone stole a gun, a prisoner escaped, a bottle got thrown, a cop's head got busted in. I heard they arrested a dozen men.
My friend Tommy may be going to jail. 15 folks say he didn't do a thing. Kenny got beat up bad, he said, by
says
the
by the
cops
cops in the cop
in the
car.
cop car on the way to jail. And all over
All
town,
over town, the blame fell on Tinker.
Tinker be damned.
Tinker for going to help Melanie
Whatever happened
on Pembroke
Hill?
Hill.
It is a story that's hard to tell.
There are
There's many versions as seconds
since.
since then.
So we sang these songs around, Alan
And
playing a
yes,
accompaniment.
sirree. And
Yep, and you know what?
they don't like my music, they don't like my song, they don't like the things I say and do.
I guess I'll be an outcast. On my day.
Used to be my teachers, didn't like my arithmetic.
Didn't like the way I spelled my words.
Used to be the minister, didn't like my theology.
Didn't like the clothes I chose to wear.
Used to be my friends,
Didn't like my manners. Didn't like the ideas in my head.
Now they have got progressive.
They don't like the music I play. They don't like my music. They don't like my song. They don't like the things
we say or do. Guess we'll be outcasts all our day. But
one thing is for sure, we'll be playing our music on the way to their graves.
Grim.
Ah, yes, ah, yes.
Yep.
And all things, good things
New
come
section
to an end.
coming up.
Not that the stories have quit, they're still there, but just we're not such as part of them anymore. And so consequently, there is endings. Amsterdam town.
Walking the daylight time up from the dark.
Holding of hands.
Singing of birds.
Waiting for train time to take us away.
Beautiful day.
Amsterdam songs.
Town. People from everywhere walking the street.
Look who you meet.
Holding up hands. When will we be in this town
Sun shining
again?
Down, dancing of feet, dancing of feet. Here comes the train to take us away.
Amsterdam sounds ring in my ears. When will we walk in this town again? Holding of hands.
Singing of birds.
Dancing of feet.
Dancing of feet.
I've.
You know what?
I've.
No, me. I found out ways.
Of living with you.
Of living with you.
Loving the days and the nights too. You become what's bright in my life.
I love the days.
And the nights too.
But
how did your hair
how did your hair turn so white?
Well, we laughed and watched the children grow. Rain fell tangled in our eyes.
How did your hair turn so white?
How did your hair turn so white? Well, we sang.
And watched the children grow.
And helped the things we love.
And helped. How did your hair turn so white?
Sun hot, twisted in our mouths while we touched. How did your hair turn so white?
Yes, now the light is shining down.
And all the sparkles flashing on.
While heat descends to activate.
The flowering up of silken purse and splinters pierce me inside. Oh. Why now the day begins.
There are some few fine days.
And lots of loves and picture cards.
To fill up eyes with disregards.
While simple frills of this and that.
Cascading down the yellow light.
While
and
making wars to beat the bands and holding hands while houses burn.
Oh, how this day
does go on.
And in the late of afternoon.
When tripping piles about my feet.
And people pushing here and there and everywhere and flashing eyes and killing heat. And accountants
trace the count and court the winner of the super race.
To nothing but a pile of dust.
That catches up the rainbows of a life.
I watch the sun as it goes down.
And wonder at the where and why, remembering my foolish acts.
And do the children have to cry?
like alligator skunks. And why to learn the reason why the night it settles down to black. The stars and light
the living life.
All the living.
And
the rocks and gas, the trees and me, while I go on and on and on, and barely just begin to see into the long night's rest. And when it comes
to say goodbye to wonder and wandering way,
and face the forward into death,
it's
you who linger longest in my eyes.
Ah, yes. And where does this all end? And how does it all go from there? Well, we'll tell you.
Life is a big bowl of cherries, you know, and we certainly intend to eat them. One after another, pop them right in, sucking the juices right from them.
So bring on your pleasure and bring on your pain.
I'll suck all the juices right from them, for life is a big bowl of cherries, you know.
And I certainly intend to eat them.
I'll take them however they come.
And when it is done,
and the grave it is won,
well, I'll just get me another bowl and start
all over again.